everyone, welcome to our last week in January. We are talking about transforming our abstract dreams into actionable plans, and in doing so we're going to break it down into 4 parts throughout the year, and we're talking about our driving force, our why, for the first 3 months. So for this month we are asking the question, why is this goal important to you personally? Now, we've already talked about the personal values and alignment that it connect to, emotional and psychological impact, the relationship and community influence. This week, I want to talk about our long-term vision and legacy. All right, so we're going to talk about our future aspirations. Can you connect your goal, your dream, to your broader vision for your future? And when I say that, I mean that, we have dreams, but once we achieve that dream, we don't necessarily consider what happens afterwards. So think about like fairy tales when it has they lived happily ever after. And then we ask this question, well, what happened happily ever after? What happens after you achieve your dream? Are you just going to be satisfied and just live your life for the rest of the way? That's going to be very boring. You're going to want to have greater aspirations after you achieve your dream, right? So I want you to consider, what's the next thing after that? How does this connect to something bigger and greater than above the dream that you already have? And so I want you to think about that. How does it fit into your long-term life plan, and what does it represent in terms of your legacy? So if you have a specific legacy that you want to leave, you need to understand, how does this goal, this dream, tie into that? And is it a stepping stone towards bigger and greater? And speaking of stepping stones, I want to talk about meaningful milestones. So when we're talking about achieving this dream, does this goal serve as a meaningful milestone, a stepping point, right, on your life journey? Does it mark progress towards larger aspirations? So when you think of your dream, I want you to think about, is this a smaller dream? Is this a large dream? And if it's a small dream, okay, what are my dreams above that to get to this larger dream? And if it's a large dream, well, what happens afterward? What happens next? When you achieve that dream, what happens next? So I want you to consider those things, because those are things that you can bring up, you can journal, you can fall back on as a reminder that this is why you want to achieve the goals, the dreams that you currently are focused on. Okay? All right. I do want to remind you guys, there is a free resource with the workbook that you can work through the entire year as we go through this, and you can get that by signing up for the newsletter that I do. Also, there's a life audit guidebook, and that's in my store. And if you're interested in using it, it helps you clarify what areas do you really want to focus and grow on, and might help you actually solidify what you want to focus on for your dreams and goals this year. I hope this helps you, and I'll see you next month. Bye.